How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new episode of Top Replays and Highlights. A brand new season, I guess we'll call it Season 2 of Top Replays and Highlights, because it has been about 4+ months since the last episode. And the reason there's been such a big hiatus is because I did take about a 3-month break from streaming over on my Twitch channel. Link to that below, by the way, streaming every Sunday and Monday. Basically, I took a break over the summer because I was very busy. First of all, so many things going on. I just didn't feel like I had the time to keep up with both Twitch and YouTube and everything else going on. But this studio I'm in currently was also being constructed, so I figured it'd be best to wait until it was done to start streaming again. And I've been streaming for about a couple months now back. It's been great, and I finally got some replays, to share with you guys now that I've actually had time to collect replays during my stream. So again, very excited for the series return, very excited to share with you guys some awesome replays. Another thing, big important announcement. If you're not listening to the audio right now, I highly recommend you do, because this is pretty important. But the first thing is, as you guys know, I've started a new series recently called One Deck, 1 Month. If you don't know what it's about, go check it out, please. I encourage you to do so. But it's basically been a new venture for the channel, a new direction, something I've been putting a lot of time and energy into, because I feel like it's sort of a flagship series of the channel. I feel really strongly about it. I recently, with recent news and recent events here, as I'm recording this on November 9th, New York State, my New York State government, the state I live in, obviously, has deemed, large gatherings over 25 people or more to be unsafe due to the pandemic. So my locals has been forced with those regulations to basically stop tournament play, immediately and indefinitely. They do not know when they'll be able to return to, doing tournaments again. Obviously, it's for, the safety of everybody else that those large gatherings are basically put on hold for the time being. So it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. So One Deck, 1 Month is going to have to be put on hold. Same thing with the locals feature matches. Luckily, I still have quite a big stockpile of those, and I can definitely still record matches here down in the studio. So live duels won't be going away, but locals feature matches will be for some time. So you'll lose that variety there, unfortunately. Of like a bunch of random different decks, but we will still have live duels. So don't worry too much, but I'm very sad about One Deck, 1 Month. I was feeling really good about that series, and it sucks to have to put it on hold for the time being. We won't actually be able to finish episode 4 for Mech Knights. I don't know what I'm going to do. Episode 3 is just about done by the time I'm making this, so I don't know. But I figured I'd let you guys know if I didn't already do so in a community post on my channel. And before we go any further, I do want to mention a few ways you guys can support the channel. Of course, it is greatly appreciated, and it helps out more than you would ever expect. By checking out Imperium Duelist down in the description below. They've got some amazing products, playmats, sleeves, dice, deck boxes, binders, all that type of good stuff. And you can get it all for 10% off using my discount code WinterKills10OFF. You can find a link to their website down in the description below alongside that discount code. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, do not forget to use my affiliate link, because that is a great way to support the channel for cards you'd already be getting, because a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go into the channel, which does help out tremendously. So with all that out of the way, with all the news, all the sponsor stuff, let's go ahead and get into our first replay here. Yes, it has been a long time since we've seen this, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at this one here. It's actually the most recent replay that I have from Subterror Nemesis Merchant, or Tobre Atlas from my Discord. Great guy. Plays a lot of interesting decks. Subterror fan, if you can tell. And his replay is titled Brick because, well, he's going to show you what he can do with Phantom Knights with a pretty bad brick hand like you see here. He's basically got Shade Brigandine plus a Rhoda, an Ash, and a Buster in his hand. Cards you really don't want to see, I guess, together in a deck like this. But we're going to see what he's capable of ending on, starting with Rhoda for Kagamucha Knight, normal summon the Ash, and taking advantage of that Kagamucha Knight to summon that out to the field, to go into Cherubini, to dump Graph, to summon Seer. I'm getting Block VA vibes, man. I missed that deck already. But Seer's going to revive that Cherubini, set that rank up spell, Phantom Knight's Force, play Shade Brigandine after searching that Stained Greaves, the new Phantom Knight card from Phantom Rage, and go right into Evil Swarm Nightmare. Yeah, not the most exhilarating combo, but given the bad hand that he did have, able to end on Evil Swarm Nightmare with the rank up magic and that Phantom Knight's Fog Blade. So yeah, pretty solid board there. Again, Evil Swarm Nightmare with the Fog Blade and the rank up magic, which will basically allow him to go into that Requiem Xyz Dragon, I believe. And that is a multiple Omni, or not Omni negate, but, you know, a multiple monster negate, and not a once per turn either. So it's a very, very solid board again there with just the brick hand that he did have. So our next replay here is actually going to be a Speedroid replay, and it's nice to see that I believe this is my going second variant of Speedroids. If you guys want to see me talk in depth about Speedroids and go through the whole deck building process, check out One Deck One Month featuring Speedroids. Great series. I think so far one of the most successful in terms of how the deck has turned out from start to finish. Series that we've had for One Deck One Month so far. So this is a going second build, but we are basically forced to go first here. But basically showing off that, you know, if we do have to go first, we can still make some plays. We're going into Aurora down here, and he actually does have, you know, to my surprise, a token collector, which is going to come down and wipe the field of all tokens. But we're still able to get into Crystal Wing bare minimum. After wiping our field at a very vulnerable point, he's going to go into the battle phase to clear the token collector to normal summon that Miscellaneous Saurus, summon a token, and then use that effective token collector engrave to attempt to destroy that token, to attempt to, you know, destroy from deck for the Petty Ranodon. Crystal Wing is going to negate. He's going to bring out Animador and Archosaur. That's going to have to destroy the only monster that he has in his hand, and that's the Ultimate Conductor. Still going to be able to get Pill and, you know, go for Unicorn to spin back that Crystal Wing. He did use his battle phase early, so we get to keep our Auroradon, which is pretty great. I do remember I actually should have used the Auroradon at the start of the turn. That way he wouldn't have been able to book my Dendendaiko Duke, because that ended up being kind of problematic. But luckily for us, that Card Turbo Engrave is actually going to allow us to get over that Unicorn underneath that Lost World. But then we're just going to go into battle phase here. We'll flip up the Dendendaiko Duke, make this Leviair. That's going to bring out the Card Turbo. That's going to allow us to bring out Crystal Wing once more, and he's going to go ahead and scoop right then and there, because again, we still have Card Turbo Engrave, so we can banish it in another Speedroid to make all wins we control gain 800 attack to sort of get out of that, you know, attack loss that we're getting from the Lost World there. So a very, very solid solid game there against Dinos. And I do apologize, I'm a little rusty with this commentary because it's been a while since I've done this. All right, here is our next replay here. I believe this is me playing Mech Knights versus Herald of Perfection, and this is a build, Mech Knight build, that is featuring a Cyberse engine as the main counterpart to the Mech Knight engine. Another Gearsu-less build. If you guys have been keeping up with One Deck One Month, you've been seeing I've been experimenting with builds without Gearsu, because there really isn't a ton of ways to get to Gearsu other than by seeing purple or blue, and going first, those are not viable options. So I wanted to experiment with other builds that took Gearsu out of the equation, that would basically give us more opportunities at seeing a starter card for Mech Knight. And the Cyberse engine actually seemed like a pretty good one. It was a fantastic one-card column. And Link Intraflyer is another Cyberse normal summon that can be turned into Almirage or Link Disciple that can also be searched, of course, off of Synapse Mining. So this was an experimental build. Never did too much with it. I don't think I had a chance to take it to locals, but I do remember this match specifically being very difficult. I think he goes first here and just passes. Which, because I don't think there was anything he was going to be able to do. So we actually get to go second here into his board, where he doesn't do anything, which is normally a problem for Mech Knight. That's usually a huge issue. And if you do not have, again, a starter engine that allows you to make columns independent of what your opponent has done, you're going to be passing as well, which is going to give your opponent a huge advantage over you. So this is where you can see that engine coming in very clutch here, and you can see the Link Disciple attributing away the Infraflyer to give us a draw and potentially allow us to see better cards. So we're going to be able to fire off this memory here, go for purple, and we're still going to be able to resolve blue, even though our opponent didn't put any cards on his field to begin with. You know, he thought, you know, not giving us anything to work with would be the best way to go, but we can still get into a Spectrum Supreme and leave, importantly, that Ibly on his field and attack directly. This is a strat I did use quite a few times, where if I knew I wasn't going to be able to OTK, I didn't want to remove the Ibly from their field, especially since I knew at this point he was playing a ritual-based deck. So I figured I would just, you know, go for the Spectrum Supreme route and go for the direct attack. So he's going to start with prep, search what looks to be another Ben 10, and he's going to go ahead and tune table for another tune table. And there it is, forcing the battle phase. Is exactly what we want him to do, because now he's within range of, you know, getting a direct attack from Spectrum Supreme is going to cost him it. We're going to a massive Chainlink 6 here. I'm trying to burn all the fairies in his hand and, you know, basically try to call his bluff. Does he have the fairy to negate this? You know, Imperm not going to go through, Secret's not going to go through, unfortunately enough here, and he's paying himself all the way down to 500 life points to resolve Venus as many times as possible. It's going to get him all the way into a Saryuja, which is going to find himself into a Celestial Observatory to draw more cards. Terraforming is going to pick up that Ritual Sanctuary. Still has Upstart in hand as well. Not going to use that, though. He's going to discard that for Sanctuary. Put another Herald on field. And he's going to go ahead and resolve some graveyard effects. Add back that Cyber Angel. And recycle some cards back into the deck to summon another Mystic Shine Ball. And put Herald, or put the Christia on the field. And this is the funniest thing, because during this entire turn, where he established a pretty decent board, you know, he has one negate at this point. You know, his engine coming in very, very clutch. You know, finding some good draws off of that Saryuja and that Venus. You know, he did have to exhaust his battle phase, and if it were not for that Ibli, he would not have had to exhaust that battle phase, and we would have lost pretty hard right there, because, you know, he'd been able to attack with 31, 21, and 28, and he could have put this in attack position as well, since we would have had nothing left, you know, if he would have attacked over it. But thankfully, that Ibli did come in clutch there, and we were able to secure the game next turn by just, you know, attempting to go into the battle phase, because he knows exactly what's going to happen. It's not an effect he can negate with Herald. So yeah, that is it for that replay. We'll go ahead and take a look at the next one. All right, this next one is called Nice Game vs. Code Talkers, and actually, now that I read the name, I do remember this one very well. This was from last week, I believe, and this was a pretty interesting deck to play against. I really do like this Coder deck, the Cybers deck, Code deck, whatever you want to call it. It seems pretty cool. It can consistently pull off extra links, which nowadays isn't the greatest, but against some strategies, it can still be just enough, and still a hard board to crack at the end of the day. And let's also not try to pretend, you know, that this card isn't busted, this Cynet Kodak card. It is absolutely absurd. So he's just going to go ahead and wombo combo here and go for Transcode Talker, trigger the Sea Archiver in hand, go for the Cyber's Wicked, summon out another token, use the Wicked to search a card, and then link into the Xcode Talker, which is going to turn off 2 zones here. Interesting choice for the zones that he decided to turn off. I think he could probably have picked maybe better zones, but maybe like here and here specifically. But here is okay, because I guess if I put a link monster there, you know, the 2 arrows that are going to be pointing from it, if it's a link 2, are going to be unable to be used. And especially since we're playing a deck like Mech Knight, we actually only use link monsters. So, I mean, give or take a few Xyz monsters in the form of Dingirsu, but, you know, this can be pretty problematic if we can't access our best cards. But luckily, the nature of the extra link is going to give us columns. Not only is he giving us 1 column, but 2, but actually 3 columns to work with. I mean, technically, this one we cannot use, but we can take advantages of the other one to go ahead and blue for 2. Go ahead and use this Purple Nightfall here. Search Avram. And we're going to the battle phase. And we're going to get over one of the only ones we can get over. And we have to get over it in the battle phase. We're going to ditch a memory here. Go into Morningstar. Go into Lib. And then we're going to set that memory. Go into Nightmare Unicorn. Ditch a Tactics. And be able to spin 2 here off of this interaction. Clear the Transco with the Red Moon. And set a Whispers and a Secret on top of that. So we have Memory, Secret, and Whispers. So he's going to try to activate Kodak. We're going to go Chainlink 2 Whispers, Chainlink 3 Secret. We're going to negate that Kodak. It's going to try to activate once more. He's going to try to activate Xcode Talker. We're going to chain a memory to that to bring out a second Indigo. His Kodak will get negated. My other Indigo gets negated, but it's not such a big deal. We're still able to slide over and negate that shooting code. That would have allowed him to gain a lot of advantage. He's going to go to Cyber's Integrator, card I was not expecting to see. That's going to bring out the Cyber Synchron to go for Cyber's Quantum Dragon. Go ahead and add that Dotscaper to his hand. We have Purple coming back. We have Cynet Mining here, which I think I actually use here in a moment. So yeah, sign up mining, gonna ditch that green. Gonna go ahead and, this is when I was still playing Dotscaper. Dotscaper's gonna bring itself back. We're gonna go ahead and link right into lib. So just a free link to right there off that interaction. Go into the BLS link, spin back that Cyber's Quantum, run over that Xcode talker with BLS, banish a shooting code, and swing in for 2K. We still have that memory set here from that lib, so we're still going to be able to turn off, you know, any spell or monster that he tries to activate just off of that interaction. He draws the microcoder and decides to scoop right there. This next replay is from Monado Boy, a subscriber submitted replay called Pog if they don't hand trap you. And, you know, this is one of those situations where it's like, you know, a very cool scenario if everything goes right, you know, seeing the full potential of the deck. Obviously, it isn't always going to go 100% right. It'll still be very cool to see how this combo plays out. Resolving Halka-Fibrax here for that Plague Spreader. You know, banning O-Lion and Jet Synchron was the answer, right? That was totally the answer. But we can see that Plague Spreader coming out, going into the actual Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Demonic Dragon, or the Chaotic Magical Dragon. I kind of prefer that older name a little bit better. Going into Minerva now, just milling through his deck like there is no tomorrow, resolving an Allure of Darkness, linking a bunch of stuff here to a Curious here, because somehow there still is a card in his deck that he hasn't managed to get to his graveyard at this point. Going in for Link Cross to summon out 2 tokens here. Going to use Plague Spreader in the grave, and he's going to go ahead and synchro into Martial Metal Marcher, everybody's favorite level 3 synchro tuner of this format, to bring back Raiden Hand of the Lightsworn. Going to go into Herald of the Arclight, summon Chaos Dragon the Pioneer. The madness continues. Borreload Savage Dragon, Herald of the Arclight, and also there's an Appaloosa on the field now as well. The Chaos Creators here, he's bringing alongside of him Archlord Christia. So that right there is looking pretty close to an unbeatable field. Unfortunately, Dark Ruler no more. If it's slapped in the field, will completely make this board irrelevant. But hey, we're just looking on the bright side. Pog if they don't hand trap you, and certainly that is what that is. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at one more replay. So this one is called Speed Smack on the Dinos, and nothing feels better than a Speedroid smack on some Dino decks. This is a different build here. As you can see, we are running the Battle Wasp engine, and I believe my final build with Speedroids, I was not running the Battle Wasp engine because in a going second build, I just found that you really didn't need it, because you just didn't need it really. That was it, and it just freed up more space in the main deck and the extra deck by being able to cut things like Marcher, Cicada King, and taking out Sting, the Poison, and Twin Bow, the attacker, from that main deck. So it freed up a lot of bricks and just made the deck more focused in what it was trying to do, and that was to go second. As you can see, our opening hand here, not the greatest. Ending on Crystal Wing Pass isn't the best board ever in existence, especially going against a deck like Dino. Luckily for me, the Crystal Wing is a pretty good card to go against that of UCT, and he's going to try to resolve Baby Sarah Source Engrave. Crystal Wing is going to go ahead and turn that down. We top deck a win. Pretty good draw there, but we're going to use this double yo-yo to bring back Tekatomborg to bring out that Dendaiko Duke Synchro into Chambara. Dinotherium is going to get summoned. We're going to go into Rubber Band Plane, bring back Card Turbo, bring back with it the Hagoita, go into Kite Drake, negate the effects of all face-up cards he has. So everything we have is at full attack. Swinging for 22, and he's just going to go ahead and concede before the rest of the damage is going to go ahead and pile on there. This is most certainly going to be a game. So yeah, Speedroids smacking those dinos here. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the decks featured in these replays. All right, first up here we have that Burning Abyss Raid Raptor Phantom Knight deck that pulled off that pretty nice combo with that brick hand. And here we're again the Dark Rebellion Xyz monster that he'd be able to rank up into Arc Rebellion and Dark Requiem Dragon. I actually didn't even know this one existed, but there is the list for you. Again, feel free to pause it if you want to take a more in-depth look at it. Here is that Sideburst build of Mech Knight from that replay. Again, I've made several variations of this, but this is the one I felt inclined to test on that stream, so there it is. And then I believe this is my current Mech Knight list, the one that I was planning on playing in week 4 of One Deck 1 Month, so there that is as well. I was actually going to be testing that on my stream tonight. And this is that Lightsworn Madness we just saw there. Yeah, 45 cards, does not surprise me. Very, very combo heavy turbo deck, you know, triple charge of light brigade, solar recharge, double allure. Very, very nice. And we'll go ahead and take a look at my going second Speedroid list. I believe this was one of the final variants of that deck. Very, very in tune with it. I would definitely play this version again if I was going to play it. So there that is. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Top Replays and Highlights. What was your favorite replay of the video? Let me know down in the comment section below. And I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing more of these videos as we continue here in Season 2 of Top Replays and Highlights. And again, I hope you guys can understand the news. You know, one deck 1 month is going to have to be put on hold for a little while, but I hope you guys were still able to enjoy this video nonetheless. Leave a like if you did. Again, let me know what your favorite replay was. Consider joining the Discord, following me on Twitter and Facebook and Twitch. Links to all that down below. Hope you guys are having a good day, and as always, Winner Kills signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a major shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members here on YouTube, Academic Thick, Zors, and Cadillacs84. Thank you guys so much for your continued support.